The klaxon's just sounded for 15 minutes to go to the start of the Proddy 600 TT. If you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to you. If you're taking your positions out around the course here on the Isle of Man, listening to us on the public address system, if you're tuned to 1368 Radio TT, or logging on worldwide to www.radiott.com, wherever you may be, a warm welcome to this final day of TT racing. And by the way, the hot rumour around the paddock is that John McGuinness is about to be offered a ride in British Superbikes for the rest of the season. That's likely to be confirmed in the next week or so as a result of his fantastic achievements around here. That's the buzz. What about the buzz down in Parc Fermé? Let's join Chris Kinley.
There is a buzz down here, I think you'll agree. It's the 15-minute klaxon has only just sounded. Around about 13 and a half minutes to go to the start of this production 600 now. They're looking at the lap times, going quite well. On his debut here is Guy Martin, 116.14, of course, on the Yule Duncan team Honda. Oh, there's squeeze to there, get my ample frame to there, Guy. Your TT has lived up to everything you thought it would.
Well, in a fashion market, I came here wanting to do 120 mile an hour, and we've done that. But finishing wise, I had a good run. Well, I suppose I had a good run in the Formula 1 last Saturday there at I finished 12th. So I was happy enough with that. But since then we've not had a finish. So we're not getting enough petrol in the production, and then the 600 playing up on what day would it be? Wednesday. Yeah, well, I don't know. So hopefully everything is hunky-dory for today. So if this weather holds out and what have you, we'll be all right. But as the weather goes, I think this bits of showers that we've been getting, it's just a bit of psychological rain. I can't see it making a lot of difference to the track, but we've just put an intermediate front in just to make sure, but we'll be all right.
What about the senior a bit later on? Of course, you can run slicks in the senior as well. You're going to have a little look in the lunch break, see what it's like?
Yeah, well, that's the good thing. We're going out this morning, I think. I think we're going to get a good idea of what the track conditions are going to be like. So, you see, I don't really know. I've never rode around here in the wet. I was just talking to, I was talking to the likes of Yule, and I was just talking to Selwyn Griffiths, and he was telling me about, likes of Glen Ellen, and, the run from Ginger Hall to Ramsey to watch out for in the damp. So I thought, I'm just going to get, sort of feel my way around for the first lap, and then that'll put me in good stead for the senior, I hope. And
tomorrow, of course, down at Boulogne, you entered in that as well. I know you like it round there. Newcomer there last year.
Oh, I love it round there. That's the best meet. Well, I say it was the best meet I've ever done until I've been here. But yeah, I love it round there. Well, a bit of an accident last year, but we're all right. So yeah, we'll have a good run tomorrow, I think.
Okay, Guy, good luck for today. Look out for your start at number 24. Should be good.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Guy Martin there. And the gate is now open to get on to Glencrutchery Road. Stood next to Raymond Porter's machine as well. We'll catch a word with Raymond before he goes up the top as well, because, of course, Raymond leading the production 600 leaderboard. And it's time for Wednesday evening, 118.9, which is a pretty impressive time. I think you will agree there. So activities are starting to build up down here, and quite a lot of people about now. And also there's Gordon Blackley, of course, had a fantastic battle on the roads with their Big H the other day, and also young Stuart as well. A couple of stories to tell you about, actually, that you find these things out. Ian Locker's production 600 CBR gets chucked up. Seamus Green, of course, in the junior TT, missed his pit, and he's already been shown in very animated terms where his pit is for this year. The boys are going to jump up and down like lunatics. Another rider as well having a lot of bad luck in the junior was Andy Wallace, number 45 today. Wooden pull coming up the mountain. They got it back into here, unfortunately retired, and they found a sparrow in his airbox. So a little sparrow had gone in through his airbox as well. And also Norman Nean, I think, would like to thank Angus McMahon, who provided them with a tank for the 600 race today. So there you go, that's a few people thanked. There's Guy there, of course, just talked to Guy. Paul Corrin there as well. And Gordon, I want to speak to Gordon, actually. Gordon Blackley. What a race in the junior with you and Big H, and I think it was young Stuart, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic race, actually. Stuart's bike was unbelievably quick, and both me and H were having a bit of trouble getting past him there. But yeah, I mean, it was good fun, because H is a fantastic rider, and it was actually a pleasure to dice with somebody around here, whereas sometimes it can be quite a scary thing.
This is one thing you get in behind H's draft.
Well, that was it. He kept on saying to me, he said, "Shit, your bike's fast." And sorry about that. he said your bike's real fast. And I said, well, to be honest, when I was a good 100 yards behind him, I couldn't actually catch him up. But as soon as I actually managed to get tucked up behind him through the corners, get into his draft, I'd go past 10-20 mile an hour faster, which was unbelievable.
Some draft from H like 125 racing.
Yeah, just the same.
Okay, good. And look for today.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much there, Gordon Blackley as well. Let's get in, have a quick word with John McGuinness. We've got about just 10 minutes to go to the start. There's this good lady for this. Have a very, very quick word with him. This production machine as well. But first of all, I want to ask you about this Hawk ride on the Kawasaki. Is that confirmed yet? Everybody's saying this, everybody's saying that. If you want to tell us, you can. If you don't want to, that's your call.
Well, yeah, there's definitely been approached, you know, and what we're planning on doing is getting the senior over, and if we win on the Yamaha and the senior, we might be twisting Yamaha's arm up the back and see where we get on with that. But it's more or less official, yeah. You know, I've got to look at the rest of my career, you know, apart from the TT, and I want to race at short circuit level, and specifically on a BSB bike, and you know, I've been approached, so I've got to take a look at it seriously.
Now then, what about this production 600 race today? It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be the best man that's to win this one. It's not one of my most favourite races, this one, but I'll do my best in it, and the conditions aren't looking too promising. There's going to be a few damp patches out there, and I'm not sticking my neck out, especially with such an important race to follow. The senior is more important than this one to me, but we'll have a go, see what the board says, and if we're in with a shout, I'll push on all the way.
As always?
Yeah, that's for sure.
OK, John, good luck for today. John McGuinness heading, of course, if he wins it, for his 4th win, and then if he wins the senior, he'll get his 5th win as well. Thanks to Tim. Let's go for a quick commercial break.
Here is a notice to all owners of domestic pets and livestock in areas adjoining the TT course. Please ensure that all animals are secure during practice and race periods.
Welcome back to Parc Ferme. 9 minutes to go before the start of the race. Let's get into the practice leaderboard. Leader, he's moved up from number 30 to number 7 today, of course, riding for John Donnan's team. Of course, John is riding at number 25, and Raymond just squeezes through there as well. Let's have a quick word with you, sir. They moved you up then, this time?
I'm very happy. They moved me up to number 7, so hopefully have a clear run.
I know practice times don't mean much really, but you've been going well on the Proddy bike, haven't you?
Well, it's going well on it, but when the flag drops, I think.
See how it goes. A little bit of windy. Is this going to affect these bikes? Not as powerful as the junior bikes, are they?
Well, just noticed during practice week in the mountain and all, for about one day, they soon lost the raves in top gear and stuff like that, you know. So hopefully it's not too bad out there. As long as it's dry, I don't really mind about the one.
What about the plan then? What's the plan? Just go for it?
Just try and go for it as steady as I can and try and finish in the top 10.
Excellent. OK, good luck today, Raymond. Nice to see you moved up.
Thanks very much.
There you go, Raymond Porter. So look out for Raymond, of course, number 7 as well. And Seamus, let's get a quick word with Seamus Green, actually. Right, into the stop box and look for your men in the pit in their pits.
Yeah, I think today the guys might be wearing some fluorescent jackets for me.
A massive, they're going to nick that big arrow from one of the corners and like point it down, but Wally and the boys have shown you before, weren't they?
Yeah, I think we should have no problem today. Just got a wee bit excited the last day, so.
And you've got a different pit for later on as well?
Yeah, they've changed the pit. They're trying to catch me out again.
All right, mate, good luck for today, Seamus, thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you very much, Seamus. Let's have a word with one of our local guys, actually, then we'll go up to the top, actually. Haven't spoke to Rob this week, normally catch him when I'm not on air. Rob Sells, enjoying your first TT?
Yeah, well, pretty much. It's mostly been going good, but you can never have a perfect fortnight, can you?
No.
Well, not very often anyway.
Very often. You got your dad and all the family helping you out here as well. You're having a few problems with the bike bottoming out as well, start of the week, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't really think I was riding that hard at all, and I was getting the footrest down and everything, so we've had to jack the whole bike up. But apart from that, we have basically been having setup problems, but that's why I'm here. Try and get these ironed out in time for the Manx, really.
Not long now to go to the start, about 5 minutes to let you get ready, OK?
All right, cheers, Chris.
There you go, Rob Sells starting at number 50 today as well. There's Paul Corrin there as well. Let's head up to the top. There's John Donnan, of course, the team manager of Raymond Porter. So it is getting considerably busy there. There's Norman Neen, there's Liam Quinn. So all the guys are starting to appear now up onto the grid. A couple of bikes up already, which is good to see. And we're going to get right to the bottom here now. And I'm being led along by our sports editor for Radio TT, Tim Glover, who's been dragging me around all day trying to find. Good morning, John Barton, with the Sanyo leathers back on today. That's good to see. Very good to see that. And Ian Locker there as well. We'll go in and have a quick word with Ian, and hopefully he's going to be in better form than what he was on the junior bike, of course. I don't know whether to ask him about that or not, but let's get him and have a quick word with Ian on this production machine as well. And Ian, it's nice to see you here, and take a long drink because you're going to need it today. Not going to be too difficult work on these compared to the super bikes, is it?
No, it's quite a nice little bike, this CBR 600 to ride, you know. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay. Very nice colours on your leathers, by the way. I know you got to work with them on the other bike as well. But these 600 bikes, we've just talked to other people about it as well. The wind could affect these a bit more than the junior bikes today because they're not as quick. Is that right?
Yeah, they will do. Yeah, it's more on the gearing, but without trying something new, it's difficult to geared down really, I think, and you know, it'll be blowing one way and it'll stop you maybe, perhaps going down towards Hilbury, towards Highlander.
Yeah.
But then when you come up the mountain, it might be better, you know. So it swings and roundabouts with it, I think, and yeah, it should be okay. The leathers, I wrecked the other leathers the other day, so
I wasn't going to ask you about that. Production winner, you won this in 2002, didn't you, on the task bike? So you do like this class, I know you do.
Yeah, no, a great little class, and it's just like riding a 125. You really got to keep it buzzing all the time and keep tucked in, you know, and get the most out of it. But no, I enjoyed that race. Was a very quick race that day, and my lap time was exceptionally good. I couldn't believe it. I think I lapped a second or two quicker than I did on the Super Sport bike that day, so I was just on it and on form. The bike was going well and just sort of panned out for me, you know.
Good luck for today, Ian.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Ian Locker, of course. Let's just move out of the way, let the other guys get in, let the television teams get in as well. Jason wants to have a word with us. He's put his cotton wool in now, so maybe not. Is it? Yes, he will. He gives me a look, so as long as I get the look from him, all right, Jason. Now then, just having a look at your qualifying time. What was the problem? Having problems with this production bike?
Just lack of time, really, Chris. So obviously a lot of the settings are mirrored from the junior bike, so you know, we spend a bit more time on that one and have transferred stuff across to this one, so we'll see how we go.
Okay, and down Ballown tomorrow, one of your favourite circuits?
Yeah, I haven't decided yet really, see what happens today, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, Jason, okay, get ready to go. Thank you very much there as well. Over there is Mark Parrott. He's had a good week as well, but I want to speak to Gary Carswell if I can as well. And hello, you're right there. Hey boy.
How you doing?
All right, so you've had a good week so far?
It's been brilliant. I've had 3 starts, 3 finishes and replicas and all of those, so I'm really pleased with the way things have gone. If it can go the same way today, it'd be great.
Now then, a little bit windy out there today for these Proddy bikes as well, but Ian Locker was just telling me it's just like riding the 250, just nail it.
Yeah, they handle really well. You know, it's like riding on tram lines. You know, the 600s are good bikes to ride, but I came up the mountain this morning, it was a bit wet, so I've put intermediate sort of wet compound tyres on for today. Just to be safe. I think they'll last 3 laps anyway, so you know, it'd be nice to get a bit of rain if I've chose the right tyres.
Okay, Gary, good luck for today, mate.
Thanks very much.
There we go, Gary Carswell. Let's go back to Grandstand for a quick commercial.
Setting the scene. Brought to you by Sleepwell Hotels, the island's largest hotel group. Catering for everyone.
So back on to the start line here on Glencrutchy Road. About 3 minutes to go to the start, 2 minutes to go to the start. Very quickly going to go in and have a very quick word with Maria. Congratulations for the day. I've not seen you since, and I know I was just watching to see if you had your earphones on or not, but you obviously haven't now.
I've had them on.
Hotel California?
Of course.
Of course. Now then, fastest woman now. Is it sunk in?
No.
Not yet. She's just smiling, big grin on her face.
I just want to say a massive thank you to Island Motorcycles, Jez Hill, Dean Martin, Andy, Tim, Phil, Jane. Hello to Daryl. Big thank you to Hillary, Gary and Ryan at the house. In fact, you'll have to hold the race because I've got so many people to say thank you.
Just say
Loads
everyone.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who's helped me get here.
Okay, Maria, good luck for today. Not long for the start now, thanks.
Cheers.
So there you go, Maria Costello, now the fastest woman. So we are heading for the start, so we'll hand you up to the grandstand and Charlie Lambert.
Thanks very much indeed, Chris. And of course, Maria is not the only female competitor in this race, because Fabienne Magoo, the Flying Piglet, goes again with plate number 70 on her Kawasaki ZX6R, and Fabienne on her debut at the TT did splendidly the other day, coming in at number 6 now as the on the fastest ever female competitor list. That was in the junior with an average speed of 104.08 miles an hour. And with Fabienne taking part, it also means that those of us who can keep an eye on the pits will be able to watch her pit attendant, who's called Nicholas, who's got one of the more remarkable hairdos at the TT. I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but it's kind of brown tufts with blonde spikes on the top. Very distinctive, Nicholas. 30 seconds to go then to the start of the Proddy 600 TT, the penultimate race of TT 2004. Adrian Archibald has been leading us off all week, and there he is again on the Taz Suzuki GSX-R, and he's just about to go as we enter the final countdown. The starter waves the flag, and away goes Adrian Archibald. Maybe looking for better results than what he's had so far, but Ian Locker is next to go. Ian sets off now, left foot up on the pegs, crouched down across the tank. came off the other day in the 600 at Union Mills, so he'll be taking that a little bit more carefully maybe as he goes through this time. It's a windy old day around the Isle of Man today, as there goes magnificent McGuinness, John McGuinness, 3 wins and a runners-up place already so far. And now his teammate on the Yamaha R6, Jason Griffiths, Welsh-born, based of course in Ramsey these days. He's been on the podium twice in the last 2 races, 2 third places, and now Bruce Anstey, the flying Kiwi, the man who's possibly the biggest threat to John McGuinness for the Formula One later on today. Number 6 in the McAdoo colours, I said Formula One, I meant senior of course. Number 6 in the Formula One colours is Ryan Farquhar, and followed by number 7, Raymond Porter, the man who's been promoted up the order after a sensational 8th place in the junior the other day. Raymond Porter starting at 7 on his Suzuki, and away goes Richard Britton right behind him. Richard Britton looking for his first podium of this TT. He was 4th in the junior. His results have been getting better all the time. Now number 9, Chris Heath, sets off, one of the Manx-based contenders. Chris on his Yamaha R6. Now Mark Parrott, number 10. Mark, who was 3rd on Monday in the lightweight, that's his best TT finish so far. Rider number 11 is Nigel Davis on the 600cc Honda. Away goes Nigel under the footbridge, a little bit cloudy now overhead, but no threat to the racing conditions. Martin Finnegan sets off for his coffee appointment with Andy McGladdery at Ramsey Hairpin. If you were listening the other day, sensational cornering by Martin, and Andy in all of a lather. We can't wait for their next confrontation at Ramsey this time. Away goes number 13, that's Sean Harris, the second of the New Zealanders, and Gary Carswell getting underway. Not perhaps the smoothest of starts by Gary, but he's well underway now and off under the footbridge and down towards St Ninians. And it looks like Paul Hunt is a non-starter because there's nobody at number 15. Nobody at number 15, so Big H is a non-starter, but 16 is underway. That's Gordon Blackley. Gordon Blackley on the 600cc Honda CBR. Yamaha time is 12 minutes to 11. We'll take a short break.
Keep up to date with all the action in the TT Week with the Ulster newsletter. On sale on the island all week.
Great clothing, great choice, great value. Where? Behind the grandstand. There's a fabulous selection of quality TT merchandise for the whole family. Make this a TT to remember and buy your official gear from Motorsport Merchandise or visit ttmerchandise.com.
Everyone knows that the all-new Yamaha R1 is this year's must-have bike, but with fantastic insurance deals through Yamaha Insurance Services on award-winning R6 and Phaser 600, there's never been a better time to visit your local Yamaha dealer. Log on to yamaha-motor.co.uk for more details.
I don't think I saw Ian Hutchinson depart, number 19. I don't think there was a starter at number 19, so he is officially listed as a non-starter. So no Ian Hutchinson, who is due to go at 19. Number 20, though, Ian Watson has got safely away. And next off is number 24, so there must have been another non-starter there. Indeed, there was number 23. So Jun Maeda, the Japanese rider, is a non-starter as well on his Honda. So no Jun Maeda. However, Guy Martin did get away, and going away now is John Donnan, the motorcycle dealer from Ardglass on his R6, 21st in this race last year. Now Craig Atkinson. Craig from Bingley in Yorkshire, the director of a company that supplies and fits kitchens and bedrooms. Not too much kitchen and bedroom fitting been going on for the last 2 weeks in Bingley, I suspect, but he's off on his way. And now there goes Chris Palmer, the man who's picked up 2 awards already this week. He's on for a great TT, whatever happens. Now to Glenn Helen and Maurice Maudsley.
Thank you, Charlie. We await the arrival of the first man, Adrian Archibald. We reckon could be about 4:50 because conditions are still, well, it's damp, to be quite honest. There are many damp patches, certainly on this run-up from Ballacrane. Although the weather is fine, we don't expect the fantastic speeds that we've had in previous years. 4:50, 4:52 maybe for Archibald. Remember, 4:46 last year. We're already over 5 minutes. So that shows the conditions are not that good. Number 1, Adrian Archibald. When we say not that good, not as good as they have been previously, but here's Locker. So taking it a little more gingerly, I suppose. The third man is into view, but this man's quicker. I would think almost certainly has caught up some time there, John McGuinness, but it's evident that the conditions on this first 9.5 miles are not as they have been earlier in the week. We went back to a couple of years ago when, of course, Locker set the lap and race records as number 4. Jason Griffiths is safely here too. The quickest 2 years ago was 4:49 here, and it's now over 5 minutes, so we're not on record speed, but we're in for a good race nonetheless. 5, Bruce Anstey, with already a victory to his credit this week, and the second place. Nix is next. That's that distinctive McAdoo outfit of Ryan Farquhar. They're all through here on lap 1 at Glen Helen in conditions that I think they're taking a little bit gingerly because of these damp patches, particularly through this very tricky section. 7, that's Raymond Porter, having moved up, and much clearer roads for him than there have been previously. That fantastic 8th place. Number 8 next is Richard Britton. I would have thought he'd have caught up some time there. I suspect we'll be looking at the first 12 or 13 certainly before we give you the full leaderboard and rundown of that one. Another machine interview down the left-hander. 9, Chris Heath. Some good finishing places this week. An 8th, a 13th, a 10th. Always a little bit on the pace. 10, Mark Parrott, and he really has had a good week. Couple of 7ths, a 3rd and 5th. But nobody's had a better week than that man McGuinness, number 3. 3 wins and a 2nd place already to his credit. 18th in this race, of course, last year. I suspect he's going to do a considerable amount better than that. 11, Nigel Davis, followed very closely by 12. That's Martin Finnegan. 7th in this race last year and 6th in the junior, but 13 with some time. Sean Harris certainly caught up there, last year's winner, and Sean Harris certainly has caught up time on Martin Finnegan. The first 13 are all through here, all those numbers safely through. 14 should be Gary Carswell, he should be the next one. Then we'll get the gap with Paul Hunt not being a starter. There is 14. So Gary also safely negotiated this first 9.5 miles. But at the front, well, the sequence was the same on the road. None of those have actually changed places, but McGuinness leads. Again, McGuinness leads. Gordon Blackley's through, but only by 1 second. It's very close there between Ian Locker and Ryan Farquhar, so totally together. We can't separate them. 1 second down on McGuinness lap 1. 17, Roy Richardson. Gently through. It's noticeably slower paced than we've had previously, feeling their way on this first lap, getting to know where the damp patches are. But the news from Glen Helen lap 1, McGuinness leads from in joint 2nd place. Number 2, Ian Locker. Number 6, Ryan Farquhar. 3 seconds then separate them from the 4th place man. That's number 5, Bruce Anstey. Anstey in turn 1 second up in joint 5th place. I'll give you those in a moment because we've got another bike with us. 18, Jonathan Ralph on the Suzuki, and then 2 more, so a bit of time pulled out here. 20, Ian Watson, and 21, Thomas Montano. 22nd for him last year. He went 9th place in the 400. We were down to 5th place jointly. 4, Jason Griffiths, and number 13, Sean Harris. They're just 1 second down on Bruce Anstey, and 1 second ahead of in joint 7th place, numbers 1, Adrian Archibald, number 8, Richard Britton. 1 second further down on that as we take 22, Alex Donaldson through. In 9th place, number 7, Raymond Porter. 2 seconds down on that in 10th place, number 10, Mark Parrott. 1 second further back in the 11th place, number 9, Chris Heath, and he's a 1 second advantage over 12, Martin Finnegan in that 12th place. That's Guy Martin through, the newcomer. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 to 11 seconds separate the first 12 only after that first 9.5 mile, but it's John McGuinness who leads by 1 second. So although we're not on race or lap record speed, it's certainly made for very, very close racing indeed. 1, 2 more machines into view. 3, in fact. 25, 26, 27, as close as that. John Donn and Craig Atkinson. Chris Palmer having that fantastic week has obviously pulled back a lump of time on both John Donnan and Craig Atkinson, and he's making his way beyond us now as another machine round this left-hander. The 28, Ian Armstrong. The marshals have been out before you came over to us, putting some cement dust down on some of the slippier spots, both before and after us. Another machine, 29. David Bell, the highest number so far. So the news from Glen Helen lap 1, with conditions that are damp. It's McGuinness who leads by 1 second from Locker and Farquhar in 4th place then, number 5, Bruce Anstey. 5th jointly for Jason Griffiths, and number 13, Sean Harris. Then 1, 8, 7, 16 up there, 10, 9 and 12 back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Les pilotes TT savent que la course, c'est bien plus que la vitesse. Plus vous allez vite, plus vous devez contrôler votre bolide. Contrôlez-vous, laissez la course aux pros. Ralentissez dans les virages. Le goût de la vitesse pourrait être amer. Ralentissez, ou la route se vengera.
Job opportunities exist with Swagelock Limited, a leading designer and manufacturer of industrial fluid system components. If you have experience or an aptitude for engineering manufacture, particularly CNC setters and operators, please contact 692 692 or the Job Centre Douglas for an application form and further details.
Well, a very tight race developing already then, and maybe Ryan Farquhar will have a change of luck after the problems that he had with his engine packing up the other day in the junior. We have an additional non-starter because Mark Vernon, number 35, didn't make it to the start line, so no Mark Vernon at number 35. But there's still quite a few riders waiting to set off here for the start of this production 600 TT. And just looking up towards the starting line now, I think that's Scott Cruz from Fort Worth in Texas on bike number 73. He starts now, off he goes. He's having a little look down to make sure that everything is okay, adjusting the visor as he goes past us. This is his TT debut for Scott. He rode in the Podium 1000 with a time of just over 100 miles an hour. But it's time for us to go to Ramsey and Andy.
We're still waiting as a rider comes into sight. In fact, it's Ian Locker. Ian Locker has taken the lead on the road. That's unbelievable. Followed closely by Adrian Archibald and John McGuinness. So all three in close company. But I can tell you, Ian Locker leads on the road. He's already taken that 10 seconds out of Adrian Archibald and added a couple to it as well, because he had probably about a 20-yard lead as he came into the hairpin, and then probably about another 3 or 4 seconds behind that was McGuinness. As Jason Griffiths comes into view, probably a faster approach than the other three that have already been through here. Very smooth and clean round the hairpin and away up the hill towards the waterworks. As into sight comes Bruce Anstey, closely followed by Ryan Farquhar. Anstey smooth and clean, Farquhar very quick. Farquhar's obviously gained quite an advantage on Anstey on corrected time, because again he's only some 20-30 yards, well not even that, probably 15 yards behind Anstey as they disappear up the hill towards the waterworks. You can tell actually from the difference between the junior on Wednesday, and bearing in mind these bikes are very, very close to junior bikes, they approach the hairpin a lot slower. They're obviously feeling the way around. Number 7 slides it in on the inside. Very tight line there for Raymond Porter. Different line for virtually all the rest of the field. He comes in on the inside of the white line. As interview comes Richard Britton. Richard Britton, number 8, safely around the hairpin, away up the hill towards the waterworks. And another rider coming to sight. Who's this? It's number 9. Number 9 is Chris Heath. Chris Heath always smooth on this circuit. Gets his knees stuck out and away up the hill. So very fast and furious. But as I was saying, they're certainly not approaching with the speed they were in the junior. Obviously trying to find out where the damp patches are. As number 10 comes round, that's Mark Parrott. He's had another good run in the TT this year. Mark Parrott, all these bikes sound beautiful as they disappear up the hill towards the waterworks section, then onto the gooseneck. The lead is now probably Bungalow and beyond. And interview now comes. Oh, he gives us a lovely wiggle. Thank you, Martin Finnegan. He didn't have it sideways there. He just gave us a wiggle, just a wheelie going out. Number 11 and number 13. So it was number 12, Martin Finnegan, was already through. 11, Nigel Davies goes through, and 13, Sean Harris. So Sean Harris is catching. The other two. Certainly, he's made a lot of time up on Nigel Davies, who set off 20 seconds in front of him. Now, I have some information from the pit earlier on from Mystic Moody, the new nickname given to him by McGuinness's pit crew, and he's fancying Sean Harris for this race. He seems to think he's going to pull all the stops out as number 16 and number 14 approach. So number 16 has gained some time. Gordon Blackley, because Gary Carswell, number 14, has been very consistent and generally been ahead, I think, of Blackley in most of the races. But whether he's had a bit of a moment, who knows? Because let's face it, the conditions are terrible out there.
when you get damp under the trees. It's worse than rain because you're flat out in all the sunny sections where it's all bone dry. Under a tree, suddenly you hit a damp patch and you don't know how hard to chase. Roy Richardson there, very distinctive in his bright orange leathers. Roy Richardson on the Suzuki up the hill. Yeah, you approach a section flat out and suddenly you find it's damp under the trees, and it's so hard to predict and so hard to know. Of course, on a short circuit you get a sighting lap. So the first lap of this race really is the guy's sighting lap, because they've not been around in these conditions until this morning, until the race has started. So it's very difficult for the riders, very difficult to predict, and of course it can be quite dangerous, because if you're full on, flat out, absolutely on it, and suddenly you hit a damp patch, well, that's going to be slippy, the bike's going to move, and it can cause all sorts of problems, which I don't have to tell you, I'm sure. Number 21 approaches, closely followed by number 20, Ian Watson on the Kawasaki from up my neck of the woods there, up near Gisborough, Boosbeck. Very wide line for Ian. I think he's trying hard there, because he was certainly hard on the brakes and he was very fast round the corner, but took a bit of a wide line, perhaps lost a little bit of time there with his enthusiasm as number 18 comes into view. Number 18, Jonathan Ralph, another Suzuki mounted machine, and he disappears up the hill. A look back, I don't know whether he got a little twitch on there, but he had a look back as he went up the hill towards Waterworks. And another one coming into view, number 22, another tight line here, right on the white line. I've got some times I can give you. And the update from Ramsey Hairpin is John McGuinness, number 3 on the Yamaha, still holds that 1 second lead, exactly the same as it was at Glen Helen, from Ryan Farquhar on the Kawasaki. Ryan Farquhar, now number 6, now holds a 4 second advantage, so he's pulled 4 seconds out on Locker, because they were equal at Glen Helen, but here at Ramsey holds a 4 second advantage over number 2, Ian Locker. Ian Locker, in turn, holds a 4 second advantage over Jason Griffiths and Bruce Anstey. The Yamaha and the Suzuki riders 4 and 5 can't be split. 6 seconds down on them is Gordon Blackley. 1 second down on them equal Adrian Archibald, Chris Heath and Sean Harris. Another second down Raymond Porter, and another second down on those. In 10 equal 10th Richard Britton. And with that, it's back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Your TT trip isn't complete without a visit to Road and Track Motorcycles, the island's sole Yamaha dealer. Check out the latest Yamaha models, including the exhilarating R1 and R6, the totally redesigned Phaser 600, and the Supermoto XT660X, only at Road and Track, Tynwald Street, Douglas.
Well, here at the grandstand, we're all huddling up a bit, or at least those who are outside in the stands are. It's paddock jacket weather today, a bit blowy, a little bit cold. Here in the commentary box, it's been quite warm up until now, but nobody's complaining today. An additional non-starter, Craig McLean, number 71, didn't get away, and also 84 and 86 were non-starters as well. Craig McLean, David Clack and Mike Krellin, those 3 are additional non-starters. The last machine to leave us here was number 86, Philip Gilmore, as the lights come on for 2 and 3. Ian Locker and John McGuinness, and the light is also on at Cronkney-Mona for Adrian Archibald. So will we see Locker retaining his lead on the road, remembering that he had got past Archibald when they reached Andy at Ramsey Hairpin, and just at the order that the lights came on, it looks like McGuinness is past as well. So it could be Locker, McGuinness and Archibald when they come past us here. The lights are also on for 4, 6 and 5 in that order. So it's a very tight production TT, the probably 600 today, the foretaste of the senior to come as we look up Glen Crutchery Road and wait for the first bike to come into view. Will it be Ian Locker, or will John McGuinness have reeled him in? Ian Locker on the 600 Honda CBR, and it is McGuinness. It looks like it's McGuinness who's in the lead. He comes past us now. It is McGuinness, then it's Locker, and then it's Adrian Archibald, and they come past us in line to stern. Terrific stuff, and a great spectacle for the supporters here in the stands as they disappear under the footbridge, and the plunge down Bray Hill is on. So John McGuinness, number 3, leads on the road from Ian Locker, with Adrian Archibald, who started number 1, now relegated to 3rd place. That was the order as they passed us, and here comes number 4. That's Jason Griffiths. Nice stylish line as he comes through, and there goes Ryan. Ryan's number 6, and he's ahead of the man on bike number 5. That's Bruce Anstey. We'll give you the times as soon as we can, the corrected times, which Norman is working on feverishly as the lights continue to come on the far side for 9 and 10. And it looks like it's Farquhar who is in the lead on corrected time, even though John McGuinness has leapt to the front. Ryan Farquhar on the McAdoo Kawasaki has leapt into the lead by 1 second. 1 second on John McGuinness. So let's just have a look at this, see if we can get this sorted out. Ryan Farquhar is in the lead with a 1 second advantage over John McGuinness, who, as things stand, is in second place, but we're just correcting the timesheets all the time. We'll go back to Andy.
Yeah, we'd just like to slot in Tommy Klukas, number 41. He's in 4th place, or we have him here in 4th place on the stopwatch on corrected time. Just 1 second down on Ian Locker and Ryan Farquhar. That was Ramsey on lap 1.
That's interesting news indeed. Thanks very much indeed for that, Andy. So Tommy Klukas having a fantastic ride there, and that of course means that there will be quite a delay before we can give you the final version of the timings as they come past us. We'll have to wait for Tommy on number 41 to get past the grandstand. So while we're working that out and adjusting our sights, we'll take a short break.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Great clothing, great choice, great value. Where? Behind the grandstand. There's a fabulous selection of quality TT merchandise for the whole family. Make this a TT to remember and buy your official gear from Motorsport Merchandise or visit ttmerchandise.com.
What better way to finish off a great day's racing than with a great meal? Everyone's welcome at the Paragon restaurant at the Hilton Hotel and Casino. Choose from the 2-course carvery at just $11.95 or tuck into a succulent steak with a selection of sauces at only $14.95. Tempted? Then make sure of your table by calling the Paragon now on 682755.
So Ryan Farquhar, the man who's had the desperate TT so far, black flagged in the Formula 1, retired in the Proddy 1000, retired at Sulby Bridge in the Junior 600, has leapt to the front after lap 1 of this 3-lap race. We have a rider coming into the pits, that is number 17, Roy Richardson is coming in on his Suzuki and just coasting into the pits. So the lap time for Ryan, opening lap, 19 minutes, 14.6 seconds, and that's a speed of 117.64 miles an hour, so no damage there to Ian Locker's existing record figures. So Ryan Farquhar then in the lead with 1 second advantage over John McGuinness. This is as things stand at the moment. We've still got to wait for number 41 Tommy Klukas to come through, but McGuinness 9 seconds ahead of number 5 Bruce Anstey, who is third at the moment, just 1 second ahead of Ian Locker in fourth. Locker having a 5-second advantage over Jason Griffiths, who's fifth. Jason has a 5-second lead over Adrian Archibald in 6th place. Archibald has a 4-second lead over number 16. That's Gordon Blackley on the PR Branson Honda. Gordon Blackley in 7th place when they passed us here. In 8th place is number 13. That's Sean Harris. In 9th is number 9, Chris Heath. And in 10th is number 7, Raymond Porter. But those figures, those placings, subject to revision when Tommy Klukas comes past us to complete his first lap. Going past us at the moment is number 24, that's Guy Martin. He finishes his first lap. The scouts feverishly adjusting the scoreboard on the opposite side. And past us now comes number 22, that's Alex Donaldson, but the leaders will be approaching Glen Helen. We'll go back there and rejoin Morris.
And they're here, McGuinness, Locker. Maybe, 10 yards separate them on the road. Archibald now, he's about 100 yards adrift of that, but great spectator sport that, to see McGuinness and Locker going and circulating together. The times reflecting, of course, the more difficult conditions of today. Nothing wrong with visibility, of course, that's excellent, and no sun to bother them particularly, but no sun either to completely dry these roads. They're not bad, but 1, 2, 3... 6, 5 and 4. So there's race leader, or certainly was at the grandstand, Ryan Farquhar through, followed by Anstey and Griffiths. And well, this is going to be fantastic around this course to get 2 and 3 short circuit style. They sweep round the long left-hander and away And, well, will there be any change in that time? Grand performance there by Farquhar. Not had the best of weeks, as we've already said, but he leads at the grandstand by that 1 second. And many more let down the field going to be in this shake-up, but we'll give you the corrected times of those that have gone through. I can tell you that Ryan continues to lead by a slightly extended, it's just 2 seconds now, his advantage over McGuinness. And of course conditions will change throughout the course of this race. There's Raymond Porter, number 7, he's through 2. Sweep that round the left-hander and safely away. 2 seconds the advantage for Ryan Farquhar ahead of McGuinness. McGuinness in turn 8 seconds up on Bruce Anstey, who's in 3rd place, number 5 as he was at the grandstand. 2 together now, 8 and 9. Richard Britton and Chris Heath. Quite obviously Chris Heath up on corrected time on Richard Britton, and I think Chris Heath was well, about 10th place I think at the grandstand. But into 4th place we've got number 2 maintained Ian Locker there, 2 seconds down on Anstey. That's Mark Parrott. In 5th place, number 4, Jason Griffiths. Well, a couple of podiums for Jason, but currently lying in 5th place, 9 seconds down on Ian Locker, and 6 seconds up on Adrian Archibald, who's in that 6th place. But those are the ones who've gone through so far. McGuinness was the quickest here on lap 1, 4:59. Finnegan, number 12, Martin Finnegan and Sean Harris circulated together, and quite obviously there, Harris up on Martin Finnegan.
Morris, I'll just cut in there because Tommy Klukas has passed us here and he's now in 6th place. Tommy Klukas, 6th place at the end of his first lap.
Good run for Tommy then from number 41, because a lot of traffic he'd have to get round to get up into that 6th place on corrected time, so obviously we'll watch for him. 11, Nigel Davis, Nigel Cap Davis, he's also safely through, but this man looks a little bit quicker. In fact it is, because that's Gordon Blackley, number 16, and I think he, certainly here we had him in about 10th place, and I think at the grandstand 3, 6, 7th place. That would probably drop down 1 because Tommy Klukas would move ahead of him, but certainly 7th or 8th for Gordon Blackley, and he's safely through here. 6 minutes and 40 Tommy Klukas' starting time, so some while before he's scheduled to be with us. That's Gary Carswell. Not a bad week for Gary, and certainly a couple of finishes there and replicas, and going quite well in this production 600 on lap 2. It's going to be hectic in Gasoline Alley at the end of this lap, but that's about 28 miles from us, so a lot of racing before they even get there. But Chris Kinley's going to have his work cut out, because a lot of these are going in groups, 2s and 3s together, and that's going to make for some interesting fuel stops. But it's number 6, Ryan Farquhar, a little better luck today, so let's hope he continues and has no mechanical problems, because he leads by 2 seconds from John McGuinness. John bidding for the 4th win in the week. John McGuinness 8 seconds ahead of the man in 3rd place, Bruce Anstey, and it's deja vu really. We seem to be calling these same names all week, that half a dozen, 6 or 8 names, always in the shake-up. 21, Thomas Montano, but good performances nonetheless down the field by many of these riders, entertaining the crowds. 20, Ian Watson, as the roads continue to improve. Just looking ahead of me now, the patch certainly getting smaller, the patch of damp, and the dry bit getting bigger, so hopefully by this afternoon senior conditions will be pretty well perfect. So number 6, Ryan Farquhar, leads by 2 seconds from McGuinness. McGuinness in turn 8 seconds up on number 5, Anstey. Anstey in turn has a 2-second advantage over 2, Ian Locker, who's in 4th. He's 9 seconds ahead of Jason Griffiths, number 4, who's in 5th. 6 seconds separate him from Archibald. 24 through now, John Donnan. Archibald in that 6th place, 3 seconds ahead of number 9, Chris Heath. Then jointly in 8th, numbers 13, last year's winner Sean Harris, and number 16, Gordon Blackley, followed by 10, 8 and 12. But it's Farquhar leads by 2 seconds here from McGuinness back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Everyone knows that the all-new Yamaha R1 is this year's must-have bike, but with fantastic insurance deals through Yamaha Insurance Services on award-winning R6 and Phaser 600, there's never been a better time to visit your local Yamaha dealer. Log on to yamaha-motor.co.uk for more details.
Your TT trip isn't complete without a visit to Road and Track Motorcycles, the island's sole Yamaha dealer. Check out the latest Yamaha models, including the exhilarating R1 and R6, the totally redesigned Phaser 600, and the Supermoto XT660X, only at Road and Track, Tynwald Street, Douglas.
Selon les chronos de Glenn Helen, en tête le numéro 6, Ryan Farquhar. En 19 minutes 14,6 secondes, il a 2 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 3, John McGuinness, qui a 8 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 5, Bruce Anstey. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. Also Neuigkeiten von Glenn Helen. In der zweiten Runde in Führung liegt hier Startnummer 6 Ryan Farquhar mit 2 Sekunden Vorsprung auf die Startnummer 3 John McGuinness. Der wiederum mit 8 Sekunden Vorsprung auf die Startnummer 5 Bruce Anstey. Die Dinge hier werden sehr heiß. Und nicht zuletzt Neuigkeiten. Startnummer 41 Tommy Klukas hat es tatsächlich geschafft, sich auf den 6. Platz vorzuarbeiten nach der ersten Runde. Zurück an Charlie.
Heike, thank you. Well, Tommy Klukas in 6th place. In fact, we could hardly split him from Jason Griffiths in 5th. So those two having a real duel, and Klukas has got above Archibald and Harris on the leaderboard. Roy Richardson and John Donnan have both pulled into the pits at the end of lap 1, and they have retired. A number of other riders have taken what seem to be scheduled pit stops after lap 1, but we'll head off to Ramsey. And Andy,
just as Ian Locker comes into view, he had a real big sideways twitch on the brakes coming into the hairpin, closely followed by John McGuinness. There's probably 20-30 yards on the road between McGuinness and Locker as number 1 Adrian Archibald comes into view, and round the hairpin Adrian looking very aggressive on that bike today, but it doesn't seem to be working for him on the times. But certainly Locker was on a mission there, absolutely hard on the brakes. As 3 come into view, Ryan Farquhar, Bruce Anstey and Jason Griffiths, all line astern. That is fantastic. That's closer flying than the Red Arrows, I'm sure. All line astern up the hill. These bikes are very, very close on performance, handling and in every other respect. But that was 3 different makes of machine there, and it would certainly be nice. Ryan Farquhar, obviously, well, we haven't got the time yet, but it looks like he's still leading the race, and it would be nice to see Ryan win. It'd be his first win. He's had a torrid week so far, and also he's riding a Kawasaki, and I happen to own one myself, so there's a vested interest for you. The road's quiet at the moment, and actually the antics this lap have been a bit more exciting than the first lap, and there's quite a large crowd here at Ramsey, and I'm sure what we've witnessed earlier in the week in terms of braking and people diving up the inside of each other. We had one guy doing a stoppie with a wheel about 2 foot off the ground. As into view comes number 7, and he's trying hard as well, almost going straight on there, number 7 Raymond Porter. He looked to lay the bike in and then decided better of it and let the brakes run a little bit further on into the hairpin and took a wider line. That's one thing, there is room at this hairpin. Number 9 comes into view, Chris Heath, and number 8 Richard Britton. Richard Britton pattering hard on the forks there as he was braking for the hairpin. So Richard Britton goes up the hill, but let me just look, and we've got Ryan Farquhar now holding a 3-second lead of all that McAdoo Kawasaki over John McGuinness. John McGuinness, as number 10 comes into view, that's Mark Parrott. Mark Parrott, very smooth, been clean and smooth and tidy all week round this hairpin section. Very wide on the exit as he goes up the hill, mind. Yes, we can say that John McGuinness on the Yamaha holds a 7-second advantage over Bruce Anstey on the Suzuki. Taz Suzuki in 3rd place. In 4th place, Ian Locker, just 1 second down on Anstey. Incidentally, the last lap here at... here we go, Martin Finnegan. He can't get that one as sideways as he did his junior bike. Maybe not enough power, maybe not enough speed up the hill. And Sean Harris. So Sean Harris is chasing down on Martin Finnegan. He's up on time on Martin. It won't be that much, but he's certainly up on time on Martin. The first lap here through Ramsey was an unbelievable 19 seconds, covered 11 riders. The first 11 riders in the race covered by just 19 seconds after some 24 miles of frenetic action, as number 16 comes into view, and it's Gordon Blackley. Now we know Gordon was high up the leaderboard. Gordon safely away up the hill. Number 11, he's taken a lot of time out of Nigel Davies here. Number 11 comes into view. So it'd be interesting to slot in Gordon Blackley when we get the times. Tommy Klukas, of course, we were looking for him because the Peel lad, we've watched him in practice all week and he's been terrific. And I have to say, I think he's done about 107 laps on that bike, because every lap he's done, I think, is on the junior 600 machine. So he obviously knows the machine well. A Peel lad, he knows the circuit well. And we were all watching for him because we knew he was going to come into the frame. But of course, starting number 41, it's very late to get the information. As Gary Carswell comes in view, pattering and hammering the forks, hammering down that machine of Gary Carr as well as the HM Suzuki GSXR. He was really hard on the brakes. Clearly this lap the boys they've done the first lap. They've got the conditions in the head. They know where it's damp, they know where it's dry, and of course here at Ramsey it is dry. It's absolutely perfect conditions here. The sun's gone in slightly, which means there'll be no glare for the riders, because when it's bright sun and you go into a dark area under the trees, it's very difficult to see. In fact, it's amazingly difficult to see in those dark areas under the trees when you've had real bright sunlight in your visor for 5 or 6 miles. So just to update you again, it's Ryan Farquhar holding aboard his McAdoo Kawasaki, number 6, holding a 3-second lead over number 3, John McGuinness on the Yamaha, who in turn holds a 7-second lead over the Taz Suzuki, number 5, of Bruce Anstey, who holds a 1-second lead over the Honda of Ian Locker, as number 21 comes out very fast. Had that bike well over Thomas Montano, number 20, close on his tail, and that's Ian Watson on the Kawasaki. Thomas Montano, as I think one of the commentators said earlier, got a 9th place in the 400 event, and as far as we can gather, that's the best result apart from Dave Roper's classic win by an American since the Pat Hennon era. So Thomas Montano doing really well, and he's quick around here, short circuit it around here, probably had his knee on the ground, probably the only one to really have the bike laid on right on its side. We can go a little bit further down the leaderboard as number 24 comes into view. It's Guy Martin. So Guy, the newcomer this year, doing very well indeed. So going further down the leaderboard, we'll start at the beginning. Farquhar holds 3 seconds over McGuinness, 7 seconds over Anstey, 1 second over Locker, 9 seconds over Griffiths. In 6th place, Chris Heath, some 11 seconds down on Griffiths. 7th is Adrian Archibald, another 3 seconds back, followed by Raymond Porter, 3 seconds down, and Gordon Blackley, 2 seconds down in 9th place. With that, back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Bikes and beer. Together they make a great TT, but they don't mix. Just one drink affects your judgment. Whether you're riding or driving this TT, don't forget, a quick one for the road could take you off the road. Think. Don't drink and drive. Remember, slow down, roads bite back.
Great clothing, great choice, great value. Where? Behind the grandstand. There's a fabulous selection of quality TT merchandise for the whole family. Make this a TT to remember and buy your official gear from Motorsport Merchandise or visit ttmerchandise.com.
The lights are on at Cronkney-Mona for both Ian Locker and John McGuinness and Adrian Archibald, and also 6 has come on as well, 5 and 4. It was Locker's light that came on just ahead of McGuinness, so does that mean that Ian has pulled ahead of McGuinness on the dash over the mountain so far as the positions on the road are concerned? But obviously Ryan Farquhar is the man that we're concentrating on, number 6 on the McAdoo Kawasaki, and Andy will keep us up to date with how Tommy Klukas has fared when he gets to Ramsey. So much excitement and pit stop this time for all the top guys, and here they come. They're coming into the pits now. McGuinness leads into the stop box with Locker right behind him. McGuinness stops, left foot down, gets the okay. Locker right behind him, and they make their way into the pits. We'll join Chris Kinley.
Thank you, Charlie. Yes, Roy Richardson came in to retire a bit earlier on. They said the conditions out there were absolutely terrible. So John McGuinness in second place currently at the moment at Ramsey. 3 seconds down on Farquhar. Gets the information. Adrian Archibald into the stop box, foot down, and off he goes as well. Here is Ryan Farquhar. Let's move out of Mark's way. The guys, John McGuinness in as well. Ryan, a little bit of a stoppy there as well. Straight in. So Ryan leads the race. Bruce Anstey in, and also Jason Griffiths and Ian Locker leaves. So Ryan getting the information. You're leading by 2 seconds. Dodge your flying visor there. So let's get all the fuel in. The timeliness, the stopwatches are on, the camera crews are on. Ryan, is this going to be his first win? Jason is in also. Adrian Archibald just about to go, is he? Just getting the rest of the fuel in now. Ryan taking a long drink. A little bit cooler here today, I'm sure you'll agree. If you're sat in the grandstand, it's quite cool today. Just checking the rear tyres. The rear tyres look fine. There goes Archibald, and there also goes Jason. Here's Ryan going as well. So Ryan Farquhar, the leader, by 3 seconds at Ramsey, is in and out. So all the top guys are out. So as soon as we get some times from Tim, feverishly working on them. So of course it was pretty tight at Ramsey, and we'll get some times in a moment as well. We've still got Tommy Klukas to come in as well, another rider coming in. Okay, I'm hearing in my headphones equal fifth. Tommy Klukas is equal fifth at Ramsey. Raymond Porter now, and of course Raymond jumped up from number 30 to number 7. So Raymond now into the pits. Another rider just about to go. Okay, guys, let's just move out of the way a moment. It's Chris Heath, who currently is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in about 7th or 8th place at the moment. So local rider Chris going very, very well into his pit for the fuel, etc. Then we have Richard Britton coming in. You heard Andy saying pattering on the brakes on the way in. So fast and furious stuff. Richard Britton in now. Let's go over to Tim. Hopefully Tim will have these times worked out. So we got Richard Britton, Raymond Porter just about to leave, and Chris Heath getting his fuel at the moment. Tim.
Well, they called him Magnificent McGuinness. He's gone into the lead by 4 seconds over Ryan Farquhar after the pit stops. Bruce Anstey a further 5 seconds back in third. Locker in fourth, 7 seconds behind Anstey. Griffiths in fifth, 1 second behind Locker. And at the moment, Archibald 19 seconds behind Griffiths, but we've got to wait for Tommy Klukas and Gordon Blackley.
Excellent, thank you very much there, Tim. So McGuinness back into the lead. Mark Parrott currently in for his pit stop. A couple more riders approaching the... Yes, here we go. Martin Finnegan and, of course, Sean Harris both in together. And it's a drag race to the pit. Sean just in front of me here. And Martin Finnegan in as well. He's had some bad luck this week, but Sean's in. Can Sean get a finish? He's had a lot of bad luck this week, of course, winning this race last year. Sean, like me, a little short fella, and just touching the floor with his tiptoes there, leaning the bike over to get as much fuel in it as possible. Martin Finnegan also in as well. Another rider coming in as well. It is Gordon Blackley. Yes, it is Gordon, just about to come to the stop box. Gets the left foot down and drives down towards his pit, which is all the guys are, well, this is pretty tight here. As Sean Harris leaves, we'll take a commercial.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Job opportunities exist with Swagelock Limited, a leading designer and manufacturer of industrial fluid system components. If you have experience or an aptitude for engineering manufacture, particularly CNC setters and operators, please contact 692 692 or the Job Centre Douglas for an application form and further details.
Motorcycle News, the best place to buy and sell your bike. There are thousands of bikes for sale in your area. Simply log on to motorcyclenews.com or to place an ad, call 0800 555 050. Motorcycle News, the fastest way to your next bike.
Well, Ryan Farquhar, what a ride. He's having 3 times on the podium here in the Isle of Man, but yet to win a TT. He hasn't had the best of years. He had an accident off his quad bike in March, doing damage to his right wrist. He spent an awful lot of time in the oxygen chamber at the fire station here in the Isle of Man, getting specialised treatment for that, although he was the best Irish rider at the Northwest 200, but would mean an awful lot to him and the team if he could clinch victory here. But there's a long way to go yet, and he's got that fellow McGuinness in front of him on corrected time. McGuinness, I must say, that was a superb effort by John McGuinness's Yamaha pit crew. They had him in and out like lightning, and away he was off down the pit lane. We have a further retirement, number 49, Fabrice Miguet, the Frenchman. Fabrice Miguet is a retirement from the production 600. In front of us now is Ian Watson. He's just come in for his pit stop on another Kawasaki, the ZX6 RR in the green leathers and the typical Kawasaki green fairing. So it's all happening out there. We still wait for Tommy Klukas, and we're just watching the clock just in case he comes through, but we've got no time. We have to catch the leaders at Glen Helen with Morris.
Thank you, because here is the leader on the road and the leader on corrected time at the last count. McGuinness, he's through here, but there's another machine fairly quickly. Could be Locker, I would suspect. Here it is. 3 and 2 the sequence, and a great pit there by McGuinness has allowed him to take that advantage. It was 4 seconds, we're told, as they left the pit. What will it be at Glen Helen on lap 3 is 1, 2 machines into view now. 5 and 1. Anstey and Archibald. Now 2 more. The quickest all, there's Farquhar, followed by Griffiths. But they're all in pairs there, the first 6. Fantastic racing around this circuit. The roads continue to dry and conditions will improve throughout. We'll shuffle these times just as quickly as we can. All I can tell you at the moment is McGuinness led on the roads from Locker, and they were followed then, I think, by Anstey, Archibald, Farquhar and Griffiths in that sequence. Number 7 Porter should be next, but it's fast, it's furious, and whilst they're not on race record speed, they're certainly providing some entertainment around, as those first half a dozen or so circulate almost together in groups of 2 and 3. They were in the pits together, they're out together. Obviously it'll be a little while before we get to 41 through here, Tommy Klukas, but I can tell you that that 4-second gap is no more. Farquhar's pulled it back. We can't separate them here at Glen Helen, lap 3. What a race this is turning out to be. They're absolutely equal. There's Porter. We cannot separate McGuinness and Farquhar, so he's pulled back 4 seconds effectively from the grandstand. He's on the pace. Back to Chris for a moment.
Yeah, Tommy Kuka's coming in, of course, a fantastic ride from number 41. He said to me before, TT, not very happy about his start number. In he comes to his pits now, and for those of you who knows Tommy, and he locks up the back wheel coming in as well, so I'm going to stay out of the way because it is hectic here. Round about 5th place for the local man from Peel, so can he keep it going here now? And I'm going to try and stay away from him because Tommy's been known to say the odd swear word to people when you've been talking to him, so we have to be really careful. So they're talking to him, so... Okay, so Tim O'Hanlon's going to watch for the times there. So they're counting the times, 19, 20, 20, 21. So about 20 seconds they counted there. And there she goes. We'll go back to Morris for a second, then we'll get the time from Tim.
Yes, thanks, Chris. I'm sure you'll give me those times when you can get it, but the news on lap 3 here is that Farquhar's pulled back that 4 seconds. He's equal first now with number 3 McGuinness. They're 4 seconds up on now the 3rd place man, Bruce Anstey. Anstey in turn has a 14-second advantage over the 4th place man, Locker. 13 and 12 in that order. Sean Harris ahead on the road of Martin Finnegan, and obviously up on corrected time. Whilst you were away, we also had safely through here Chris Heath, Richard Britton and Mark Parrott, and they were in fact in that sequence 9, 8 and 10. I think we got down to 5th place with number 4 Jason Griffiths. Back to Chris for a moment.
Yes, after the pit stops, Tommy Klukas is still in 7th place, and he's only 4 seconds behind Archibald, with Gordon Blackley 1 second behind Klukas and Harris 8 seconds behind Blackley.
Back to Morris.
Yes, thanks. Well, it is fast, it is furious, but it is close, and I think that's the greatest thing. We were looking back at the situation here on the previous lap where we made it only about 40 seconds separated the first 12 on lap 2. The pit stops obviously has had an effect on that, but it is close racing indeed, and certainly some fantastic excitement. Let's go back to our leaderboard. Long time before Tommy Klukas is scheduled to be here, but all these positions can change on this lap and of course the final lap. But we're on lap 3. We can slot in number 9 into 6th place Chris Heath. That's number 11 Nigel Davis still circulating. Let's go back to 5th place. That's number 4 Jason Griffiths. He's 3 seconds down on Locker of those that have gone through. 21 seconds ahead of the 6th place man. That's number 9 Chris Heath. Heath in turn 3 seconds up on Adrian Archibald, number 1. They're followed by number 7 Raymond Porter, who currently holds 8th place with a machine in the drying conditions. 14 Gary Carswell. But it's a fantastic race up front, with the lead changing between McGuinness and Farquhar, but only 4 seconds still separating those from Bruce Anstey, so 4 seconds only separating the first 3. Locker's not that far adrift, might have had a slower pit stop because he's 14 seconds down on Anstey and 3 seconds ahead of just having a look, number 4 Jason Griffiths, so only 20 seconds separating the first 5. But the news from Glen Helen lap 3, we cannot separate McGuinness and Farquhar. With that, back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
What better way to finish off a great day's racing than with a great meal? Everyone's welcome at the Paragon restaurant at the Hilton Hotel and Casino. Choose from the 2-course carvery at just $11.95 or tuck into a succulent steak with a selection of sauces at only $14.95. Tempted? Then make sure of your table by calling the Paragon now on 682755.
Great clothing, great choice, great value. Where? Behind the grandstand. There's a fabulous selection of quality TT merchandise for the whole family. Make this a TT to remember and buy your official gear from Motorsport Merchandise or visit ttmerchandise.com.
Glen Helen, les chronos vérifiés. Les numéros 6 et 3, Ryan Farquhar, John McGuinness en tête à égalité. 4 secondes d'avance sur les numéros 5, Bruce Anstey. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. Neuigkeiten also aus Glen Helen in der dritten Runde. McGuinness hat es geschafft, mit Ryan Farquhar gleichzuziehen. Die beiden sind zeitgleich dort angekommen und haben gemeinsam einen 4-sekündigen Vorsprung auf die Nummer 5, Bruce Anstey. Zurück an Charlie.
Heike, thanks very much indeed. Maria Costello is safely off on lap 3, one of the two lady competitors in this, along with Fabienne Migoux. So terrific stuff out there on the road. Just to give you Ryan's lap time for lap 2, it was 19 minutes 1.9 seconds. Ryan Farquhar's time for the second lap, 19 minutes 1.9 seconds. That's 118.94 miles per hour. Well, a wonderful scrap developing then at the top of the field in the production 600. John McGuinness and Ryan Farquhar. McGuinness had a really slick pit stop. Away he went, 4 seconds ahead. But Farquhar pulled that up by the time they got to Glen Helen. So will Farquhar be ahead when they stream past Andy McGladdery at Ramsey Hairpin?
Well, we await the first rider coming into view. It's certainly exciting, and we thought the 1,000 production race was a close, exciting race, but this 600 production has certainly eclipsed that, certainly so far. And the rider comes into view, and it's John McGuinness. John McGuinness leads on the road, number 3 on the beautiful red and black Yamaha, safely round, as always, on line. And here comes Ian Locker. Now, Ian's really trying. He's hard on the brakes. His usual wide line. He takes a wider line than any of these other riders on this hairpin. And Bruce Anstey. Very tight for Bruce Anstey. Totally, it's surprised how there are different lines. Farquhar's gone inside Adrian Archibald into the hairpin. What a fantastic manoeuvre. And right behind them, watching all the action, is Jason Griffiths. In fact, I think Jason was expecting to pick the pieces up there, because Archibald was in the lead of the 3 of them as they came up to the hairpin, but Farquhar realised he can't waste any time, can't lose any time. He just stuck it up the inside, and Adrian Archibald had to pick it up and move out of his way, because it was a case of I'm coming through. That was terrific action, absolutely fantastic. So obviously Ryan Farquhar, he knows the victory's there, he knows it's within his grasp. It'll be his first TT victory and the first Kawasaki victory for well, I don't have the records here, but I'm sure it's some considerable time. We have to probably go back to the Mick Grant era when the Kawasaki's had any kind of dominance on the island. For all there have been victories since. I think Jeff Johnson won production races on Kawasaki's going back to the mid-80s, but that was a fantastic move here, and Farquhar was just absolutely on it. We haven't got the updated times just yet, but as soon as they come out, we shall give you them. As interview comes number 7, his usual tight line, Raymond Porter. He's safely round and away. He takes a very tight line in, and economy of space. He's not using a lot of the road, but it's surprising. You can have guys like Ian Locker, who takes a very wide line, goes fast all the way around the outside, keeps his speed up, as another rider comes into view, very fast indeed, and that's Chris Heath, number 9. He was really flying there. And here's Richard Britton smooth, but they're on the brakes. That bike last time it was hopping here. The forks, when they compress, are starting to judder. Whether he's got a braking problem, whether he's got a fork problem, maybe too soft on the front end, who knows, but certainly juddering very hard into here for Richard Britton as number 10 rounds the hairpin. Mark Parrott, as ever, smooth, clean. I mean, McGuinness is the one for the hairpin in terms of consistency. You could chalk a line around here and John McGuinness would follow it lap after lap after lap. Absolutely bang on it. As I say, on the approach to Ramsey Hairpin here, as they come into our site, they've come out of Cruikshank's corner, accelerating up towards Stella Maris, and the bigger bikes are right out to the wall near Stella Maris, which is a right-hand approach. But that time, Chris Heath had obviously got good speed, and oh yeah, thank you, Martin Finnegan, he gets it broadside coming in here at the hairpin. Beautiful, best on his production bike. Sean Harris, I think Sean has just dropped a little bit off there from Martin Finnegan. Time-wise, we've got Ryan Farquhar who holds a 2-second advantage over Bruce Anstey. Now, Bruce Anstey slipped into second place. There's a surprise. And John McGuinness is 7 seconds down on Anstey. So quite a reshuffle from Glen Helen. Whether McGuinness has had a problem, who knows? What's happened there? It's big change round. Or is Anstey on a charge? Has Anstey left it all to the last lap? We've only got the first 3 times at the moment, but it's Ryan Farquhar, number 6 on the Kawasaki here at Ramsey Hairpin on the final lap, holds a 2-second advantage over the Taz Suzuki of Bruce Anstey. Now, Bruce must have taken some time out of him to be that close close because he was in third at Glen Helen. Bruce Anstey, number 5 on the Taz Suzuki, holds a 7-second advantage over John McGuinness on the Yamaha, number 3. John McGuinness in turn holds a 12-second advantage over teammate Jason Griffiths, number 4 on the Yamaha. In 5th place is Ian Locker. We haven't got the time on that one just yet. Yes, we have. It's minus 6 seconds for Locker, so 6 seconds down on Griffiths for Ian Locker. In 4th place, number 11 comes through. That's Nigel Cap-Davies. Very smooth, very clean, away up the hill. So it's building up. It's going to be some battle over the mountain. Anstey, well, what can we say? Does he know? I mean, he's right behind Farquhar, so he's actually got a... well, I'm getting confused here. What Anstey is number 5. Farquhar's number 6. So I would have thought that was a bigger gap. Am I getting confused here by my timekeeper? I'm not sure. We'll try not to confuse you, because we are confused, I'll tell you. Number 14, Gary Carswell goes through on the HM Suzuki, number 14. We can slot some more times in for you. Anyway, Ian Locker in 5th place holds a 23-second advantage over Adrian Archibald. I know why I'm getting confused, because I'm confusing Archibald with Anstey there, that's why. Adrian Archibald holds a 1-second advantage over Chris Heath in 7th place. So this all slotting in. Of course, Tommy Klukas is going to come into the equation. We had him here in 5th place on his 2nd lap. Of course, the pit stops can cause quite a reshuffle. It seems the established order in the first few hasn't changed, but maybe Tommy Klukas could gain or lose time in the pit stop. But being number 41, we have to wait some considerable time before he comes. Number 21 comes into view. Thomas Montano, fast as ever. So Farquhar leads by 2 seconds from Anstey, from McGuinness, from Griffiths, from Locker, from Archibald, from Chris Heath, from Raymond Porter, from Gordon Blackley, here at Ramsey Hairpin on the final lap, and I'll hand you back to the grandstand.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
TT-Fahrer wissen, zum Rennfahren gehört mehr als nur Geschwindigkeit, zum Beispiel Kontrolle. Je schneller man fährt, umso mehr Kontrolle braucht man. Überlass das Rennfahren den Profis, fahr langsamer in Kurven. Zu hohe Geschwindigkeit und du kriegst den Asphalt zu spüren. Denk dran, fahr langsamer. Die Straße schlägt zurück.
Don't miss any of the latest TT action when you're on the island. The Ulster newsletter is on sale all week. And if you somehow miss anything, catch up with our spectacular review of the week on Monday the 14th. The Ulster newsletter is at the races.
Well, the lights are already on for 3, 5 and 2, but I haven't seen the light come on for number 6, Ryan Farquhar, just yet. So it's on now. Ryan Farquhar's light is on now, so it's all about the corrected time, and of course it's all about the podium places now, with only 7 seconds at Ramsey dividing Ryan Farquhar, who is in the lead, by 2 seconds over Bruce Anstey, and John McGuinness a further 7 seconds behind. So it's going to be a question of keeping our concentration on the stopwatches, working out the corrected time as soon as we can. Will Anstey have continued that charge? He caught up between Glen Helen and Ramsey. He knocked 2 seconds off Ryan Farquhar's lead. And there is McGuinness. McGuinness crosses the line now. McGuinness crosses the line now, but it's all about 5 and 6. It's all about 5 and 6. It's all about Anstey, and here comes Anstey. Here comes Anstey crossing the line now. And we wait for Farquhar, remembering there was a 10-second gap. We wait for Farquhar, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. He crosses the line now. I think he's done it. Griffiths just behind him. I made it 7.8 seconds on my very unofficial stopwatch, the gap. So it looks to me as if Farquhar has got the production 600 TT in the bag, and Norman Quayle is just confirming the figures for me now. 2.3 seconds ahead of Bruce Anstey, and Anstey 9 seconds ahead of John McGuinness. Well, what a fantastic race, what a dramatic finish, and a wonderful performance by Ryan Farquhar, the 28-year-old from Dungannon, on the ZX6 McAdoo Kawasaki. He's kept going, he's kept his cool despite the fact that things have gone terribly wrong for him and the team this week, and they have got their reward. It's Ryan Farquhar's first ever TT victory, holder of course of the 600cc junior lap record last year. He's been on the podium 3 times. He's on the top spot now though, and he's with Chris Kinley.
Yeah, just trying to get through all these people here now if I can. Absolute bedlam down here. What a week he's had. And you know, at the start of the week, you found out his good lady was pregnant. His good wife, of course, he got married over here, and of course, Southern 100 champion, and now he is Production 600 TT winner for 2004. And what a smile after the week these guys have had. And they said to me before, after he'd done his pit stop, that's the first time we've had chance to do that. So let Ryan take his gloves off. He's going to try and make the soak in a bit. All the boys are here, and 2.3 seconds. It's spot on. I think it's all he's ever wanted to do. He's won a Northwest. He's going to be a father in a few months, and now he's won a TT. Ryan, get your hat on, my boy. What do you think about that? Karen's here. Go on, see your good lady first. See the good lady first. All the boys are here, all the Irish guys are here, and they've all been asking me, is he in the lead? Has he won this? Has he won this? And he has, and it's in now. 2.3 seconds. He's giving her a big hug. Let him get his hat on. Let him take a breath and work all this in. What a week he's had. So there's the good lady. Ryan, what about it?
It hasn't sunk in yet, you know. Just first lap, got a few slides, you know, and just hung in as best I could. And I saw his second, got up into the lead, and just said to myself, right, we'll keep a steady pace here. The Kawasaki was absolutely flying. You know, I had a fair idea before I went out, you know, a production Kawasaki 600 is probably the best 600 there is out there. Pirelli tyres, you know, everything just went magic. Couldn't ask for a better ride. I think I lost a wee bit of time in the pit stop, you know.
4 seconds, yeah.
But, you know, it's better safe than sorry, get plenty of fuel on after what happened Tuesday, you know, but well pleased.
No problems at all, but what's the conditions like, firstly?
Well, a few place dump spots, you know, got a few slides coming out of Ballacrane, and, you know, whenever I come in behind Jason and Adrian, you know, and I come in behind some guy in Kawasaki there in the last lap, and I was saying, don't screw this up for me, you know, as I knew I was in fairly steady pace, and I didn't want to go offline in case I hit a dump spot, but apart from that, everyone went perfect. You know, I'm shaking.
I know, I can tell he's actually shaking against me here, but not a good start to the year for you. And of course, you went to the Northwest, did very well considering you hadn't ridden. You had some awful luck here, but now, hey, what about it? And hey, spot on. What a night tonight.
I you know, at the start of the season, I broke my wrist and missed Cookstown, Tondergee and Scarborough, and went to the Northwest. Didn't get a win, which I was on the podium twice in 600 Kawasaki and was well pleased with that. But to come here in the first 3 races, just a disaster, you know, but this makes up for it.
And a good lady there as well. Karen, he's done all right, hasn't he?
Fantastic. He worked very, very hard for it. Everybody did, you know, especially when the beginning of the year was so bad, or the beginning of the week. No, can't speak.
All right, after the senior race, then let's hope we have a good run in that as well. Then in the beer tent, Ryan, well done.
I could go to the beer tent now.
Thank you, Ryan. Well done. Ryan Farquhar there wins his first TT. And let's get round and have a word with their second place. Was it Bruce Anstey, Charlie, please?
Yes, indeed. Bruce Anstey was second, Chris.
No problem at all. Let's get in and get a quick word with Bruce, if I may. Just get in now before all the TV scrum gets in, and a second place for Bruce. Excuse me, Peter, just get through there, matey. Thank you very, very much. 2.3 seconds, I think it was. Tied.
Yeah, just gave it everything I'd had on that last lap to sort of catch up to him again, and just couldn't quite do it, but
there you go. What about the conditions around the course? A little bit windy, a few damp patches around, Ryan was saying. A few slides or not, or everything okay?
Not too bad. I see Ryan had a bit of a slide in front of us. But it was tricky and just know how hard to push on that first lap, and sort of I struggled on the first lap again, but it was a hard race to sort of.
Very hard. I mean, John as well. John held the lead, then Ryan held the lead, then John got it back, and then Ryan got it back, and you were coming into the equation as well.
Yeah, once I sort of got out in front of him, I knew I pushed hard, try and get a break on him and try and gain the time back on him, but I just couldn't quite do it.
Another second place, so must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely began. The Suzuki's been running well all week now, so see how we get on in senior.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Well done again.
Cool, thank you.
There you go, second place for Bruce, and third place this week, so that makes 3 wins, a second and a third. Of course, is John McGuinness, currently being interviewed by the TV at the moment. We'll get John on it in just a second. First, second and a third this week, but you must be pleased with that. Ryan must have rode the wheels off that.
Yeah, fair play to Ryan and Bruce, you know, I mean, I think it was close in the first lap. There wasn't much in it between all a lot of us, and I was getting P1 second.
There was something like, I think 19 seconds covering the first 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it was fantastic racing. I was enjoying it, and then going through Milltown on the second lap, over that little jump around the right-hander, the steering damper bolt snapped out. So I really slowed down because I wondered what it was for a while. I thought I had a puncture. I as I looked down where the handlebar department is, and I could see the steering damper was flapping around, so I did the last lap and a half with no steering damper, so I couldn't quite push as hard as I wanted to. I just wanted to bring the bike home safe, and to finish on the podium in a race as competitive as that with no steering damper, I'm happy with that.
Very pleased. You got 4 seconds back up on him after the pit stop as well, and then obviously you had the problem, so that's how he got you back. But he's done well though, considering the week he's had.
Oh, it's fair play. He can ride those production bikes. The Proddy bikes aren't my favourite bike, but I was quite enjoying that. It was good fun.
Look out behind you. There's a little one coming to get you.
Hello, mate. Yeah, little Ewan's here.
Big shake of the hand. So
he'll be looking back on this and be giving me a kick in money in a few years.
No, he won't. Good luck for the senior a bit later on, John. Thanks.
All right, cheers.
There you go. So 3rd place to John McGuinness there, 1st place to Ryan, and 2nd place to Bruce Anstey. Let's go back to you, Charlie.
Chris, thanks very much indeed. I've just heard that there's a correction to the race programme where the senior was published for a 1:15 start time, but in actual fact it's going to be 12:45 the senior gets underway. The light is on for number 41. It's not Norrie Haga, it is Tommy Klukas, and he has had an absolutely sensational morning of it. A wonderful opening lap by Tommy, and we're waiting for him to come across the line and just see where he slots into things. And here he comes now, and he takes the checkered flag and he sits up in the seat, and he knows he's had a pretty good day's work, has Tommy Klukas, 36 years of age, a stores supervisor for the Manx Electricity Authority from Peel. Failed to finish in the Proddy 1000, but my goodness me, he's finished in style in the Proddy 600 because he has finished in 11th place, and that is a pretty good performance. Tommy Klukas, after a blistering opening lap that took him up to 6th place, right on the shoulder of Jason Griffiths, ahead of the likes of Archibald and Harris at that stage, losing a bit of time in the pits and then finishing finally in 11th place. So good stuff for the man from Peel. We'll get a summary in German and French, starting with Mavis.
Merci Charlie. À la fin de la course Fin de la course production 600, en tête le numéro 6 Ryan Farker, victoire par 2,3 secondes sur le numéro 5 Bruce Anstey, 9 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 3 John McGuinness. Heike.
Ja, danke schön, Mavis. Hier also unser nächster Gewinner in der 600er Production Serie, Start Nummer 6 Ryan Farquhar. Was für eine wunderbare Überraschung, wie wunderschön für ihn. Es ist sein erster TT-Gewinn und die neuesten Neuigkeiten sind auch, dazu wird er bald Vater werden. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, alles Gute für Ryan und seine Frau. An 2. Stelle Start Nummer 5 Bruce Anstey. An 3. Stelle Start Nummer 3 John McGuinness. Kurzer Nachtrag, die Zeiten hier, diesmal keine Rekorde, aber das wird Ryan sicher hier ganz egal sein. Er hat sein Rennen gewonnen mit 57 Minuten, 46,8 Sekunden. Das ist ein Vorsprung von 2,3 Sekunden auf Bruce Anstey. Der wiederum hat mit 9 Sekunden Vorsprung auf John McGuinness seinen 2. Platz wohlverdient. Zurück an Charlie.
Thank you, Heike. Well, terrific stuff. A wonderful morning's entertainment with the senior to follow at 12:45. Tommy Klukas, 6th place at the end of lap 1, down in 7th after lap 2, and eventually finishing in 11th. And Davy Morgan had a pretty good ride as well, remembering that he started off at 38th and he was 15th after lap 1, and he remained in that position for the rest of the race. So Davy Morgan, number 38 when he started off, 15th at the end of the race. And I will give you a full rundown now of how they finished here at the grandstand, although we've got to slot Tommy Klukas in here. Oh no, he's not in the top 10, he's just out of the top 10. So this is how the top 10 looks then at the end of the production 600 TT. It was victory for number 6 Ryan Farquhar, 2.3 seconds ahead of number 5 Bruce Anstey. Victory for Kawasaki Suzuki in 2nd place, 9 seconds ahead of number 3 John McGuinness on the Yamaha. John finishing 10 seconds ahead of, in 4th place, Jason Griffiths Yamaha. Jason 13.2 seconds ahead of, in 5th place, Ian Locker Honda. Ian 22.9 seconds ahead of, in 6th place, number 7 Raymond Porter. Raymond Porter on a Suzuki coming in 6th place, so another good TT finish for him. Raymond 1.8 seconds ahead of the man in 7th place, that's number 9 Chris Heath. Chris, 2.2 seconds ahead of the man in eighth place. Yes, that's right. That's number 16, Gordon Blackley, on the PR Tyres Branson Honda 600. Gordon Blackley, 3.7 seconds ahead of, in ninth place, number 1, Adrian Archibald on the Taz Suzuki. And Adrian Archibald finishing 3.6 seconds ahead of number 10, Mark Parrott on the Honda. That is your top 10 confirmed then at the end of the production 600. Ryan Farquhar's lap time for the third and final lap, including the pit stop, was 19 minutes 30.1 seconds. That's a speed of 116.08 miles an hour, but remember that does include the pit stop. So congratulations to Ryan. He's done the business good and proper after a disappointing TT so far, and that means that he is the winner and will pick up around £5,650 for his efforts over those 113.19 miles of the race. Well, just while we catch our breath and wait for the presentation ceremony to take place, and also prepare ourselves for the senior TT coming up at 12:45, let me tell you that there's a golden opportunity for one lucky biker to win a Honda Fireblade for just £20. That's courtesy of Rio Prestige. Now, this is a raffle. Only 200 tickets have been sold, so you've got a pretty good chance here. The raffle's going to be drawn behind the Dunlop stand at 12:30. That's at the back of the grandstand here. So at 12:30 today, you've still got a chance to nip round there if you're in the grandstand area and buy a ticket for 20 quid, and you could end up riding off on a brand new Honda Fireblade courtesy of Rio Prestige. Okay, well, Yamaha time is now 4 minutes to 12. We're waiting for the bikes to make their way up for the ceremony, and Norman's just handing me a piece of paper saying that the fastest lap in the race was by Ryan Farquhar on lap 1. That was 19 minutes 1.9 seconds, a speed of 118.94 miles an hour, although Bruce Anstey came pretty close on lap 3. He was only 0.6 seconds slower. Confirmation of the results then. The winner, number 6, Ryan Farquhar, in a race time of 57 minutes 46.6 seconds, an average speed of 117.54 miles an hour. Second place, number 5, Bruce Anstey, 57 minutes 48.9 seconds, an average speed of 117.46 miles per hour. And in third place, number 3, John McGuinness, 57 minutes 7.9 seconds, 117.16 miles per hour. Only 4 retirements, we reckon, so far during the race. One I didn't get the chance to give you earlier on was Etienne Goddard. He retired, number 51, on lap 2. So the retirements: Roy Richardson, number 17, John Donnan, number 25, Fabrice Miguet, number 49, and Etienne Goddard, number 51. Those are the only retirements reported to us so far. Well, down below us here in pit lane, the bikes are, nearly dropping Ryan's Kawasaki there. The bikes are being manoeuvred into position in front of the podium for the presentation ceremony to take place. And the garlanding ceremony will be carried out by Terry Toohey, the Director of Tourism here on the Isle of Man, who's due to retire next week. And he'll be accompanied by Carol Glover, who'll be taking over from Terry. And also the awards will be presented by Martin Quayle, MHK, and Mr. Don Ryder from the ACU. Well, it's been all about John McGuinness this week, but this morning it is all about Ryan Farquhar, and how good to see somebody who's been bedeviled by ill fortune coming good when it mattered on the production 600, the class, of course, that so many of us who ride motorbikes really associate with. So splendid stuff, and very good news indeed for Kawasaki. But it's time now for the fanfare. Well, the top 3 riders in the production 600 TT have made their way up to the top of the podium and taken their places, with Ryan Farquhar, 28 years of age, from Dungannon. taking his place in the middle and just waves to acknowledge the applause of the supporters. And Mr. Terry Toohey has made his way up for the garlanding ceremony, so let us proceed with that without any further delay. And the man in third place, riding a Yamaha number 3, John McGuinness. In second place for Suzuki, Bruce Anstey. And the winner on a Kawasaki, Ryan Farquhar. Ryan Farquhar from Northern Ireland, and we will now have the national anthem of the United Kingdom. Well done, Ryan. Terrific stuff by Ryan and the McAdoo boys, and congratulations as well to Bruce Anstey and to John McGuinness. The champagne, supplied as ever by Heron and Braley, is about to be uncorked. They won't have time or indeed the inclination to drink too much of that, with only a 45-minute turnaround before we're underway again with the senior. But the corks are out of the bottles and the champagne is spraying across pit lane and showering down on the photographers down below. And a wonderful moment for Ryan, who has been waiting and dreaming of a moment like this, and he's giving John McGuinness's bike a really good soaking with that champagne. And he waves to the crowd, waves his cap to the crowd. Applause all round here in the grandstand at Douglas, looking out on Glen Crutchery Road. Applause from the marshals, and of course everybody appreciating a wonderful sporting achievement. It's Ryan's fourth time on the podium, but the first time he's been in the middle of the other two guys, and he's posing for photographers, holding a bottle of champagne in his left hand and his cap in his right hand, and he turns for a photographer on the other side in front of the scoreboard to get a snap of him as well. And now he makes his way down the spiral staircase. No doubt there'll be interviews and a few more photographs, but they can't be allowed to go on for too long because we are underway with the senior in the not too distant future. So it's a pretty hectic old program today as we reach the conclusion of TT 2004, with the classic parade lap of honour still to look forward to as well. So the bikes are now being wheeled away. John McGuinness's Yamaha is being taken away for a good towel down, I would imagine, and we'll get the results now in French and German, starting with Mavis.
Merci Charlie. Salut francophone. Encore une course de rêve, du track, de la passion, de la vitesse, des pilotes qui se tirent la bourre terrible. Et voici les résultats. En premier, le numéro 6, Ryan Farquhar, en 57 minutes 46,6 secondes. 57 minutes 46,6 secondes. En deuxième, le numéro 5, Bruce Anstey, en 57 minutes 48,9 secondes. 57 minutes 48,9 secondes. En troisième, le numéro 3, John McGuinness, en 57 minutes 57,9 secondes. 57 minutes 57,9 secondes. Quant au coureur français, le numéro 49, Fabrice Miguet, a abandonné, et aussi le numéro 51, Étienne Godard. Je chercherai des nouvelles aussitôt que possible. Malheureusement, je n'ai pas encore reçu les résultats des autres Français, les numéros 64, 68, 70 et 76. Alors, je les rapporterai un peu plus tard. Je profite de cet instant de vous rappeler que les banques sont fermées aujourd'hui, traditionnellement jour de congé sur l'île pour la course senior TT. Vous remarquerez peut-être plus de spectateurs. Ce sont les riverains qui profitent de l'occasion de voir de près leurs visiteurs, estivants et pilotes. Je vous préviens qu'on n'accepte pas de la monnaie manoise, ni pièces ni billets en Angleterre. Les points distributeurs offrent que du fric manois, sauf ceux à l'aéroport ou au port maritime. Bon, les lauréats distribués, et n'oubliez pas la présentation des prix ce soir à la Villa Marina. Passons maintenant à la Senior TT, le ruban bleu de la semaine. Et à propos, le départ au programme n'est pas correct. On part à 12h45. Selon le programme, il n'y a qu'un courant français, le numéro 51, Fabrice Miguet, mais je vous annonce l'arrivée au rang sur le numéro 70, Étienne Godard. Bien casqué, j'espère. Mais après leur abandon de la production, je ne sais pas s'ils vont courir. Étienne Godard, une performance super dans la junior mercredi. Ils ont le cœur bien accroché, ces mecs, non? À part la Grande-Bretagne et l'île de Man, la Nouvelle-Zélande, l'Irlande, les États-Unis, la Slovénie, le Japon, la Belgique, l'Allemagne, l'Italie, la Suisse, l'Argentine, le Canada, l'Espagne sont représentés aussi. Bon, ça y est, après la senior, et je vous rappelle du départ, un changement au programme, le départ à 12h45, un tour d'honneur des vainqueurs du passé, y inclut le sidecar numéro 72 de Derek Rumble avec notre ancien présentateur allemand, Peter Podium. Quelle joie de le revoir cette année. Bon, ça y est, allez-y au départ. C'est Mavis au micro de la part de Radio TT, la meilleure station de la moto du monde. Heike.
Dankeschön, Mavis. Ja, also dann nochmal eine kurze Zusammenfassung dessen, was wir gerade gesehen haben. Die 600er Production-Serie hat ein Ende gefunden, ein sehr frohes Ende für Ryan Farquhar mit der Startnummer 6. Er hat seinen ersten TT-Gewinn in die Tasche gesteckt. Er hatte ja schon ein paar Mal hier oben auf dem Podium gestanden, aber nie auf diesem ersten Platz. Wunderbar, mit einer Rennzeit von 57 Minuten 46,8 Sekunden. Gefolgt dann von Bruce Anstey mit einer Rennzeit von 48,9 Sekunden. Tony, unser Tontechniker hier oben, wollte schon wieder einen Siegestanz vollführen. Er hat geglaubt, dass Bruce Anstey Ryan Farquhar überholen könnte. Er hat es aber nicht geschafft. Tut mir leid, Tony. An der dritten Stelle dann John McGuinness mit einer Rennzeit von 57 Minuten 57,9 Sekunden, der dritte Platz. Die gute Nachricht für alle unsere deutschsprachigen Zuschauer und Zuhörer ist, der Kalic Startnummer 56 und Thomas Schönfelder Startnummer 82 haben beide erfolgreich das Rennen beendet. Die schlechte Nachricht ist, ich habe noch keine Zeiten. Ich werde versuchen, das so bald wie möglich nachtragen zu können. Schauen wir jetzt voraus auf das nächste Rennen. Das, und bitte beachten Sie das, das ist eine Programmkorrektur, nicht um 13:15 Uhr, sondern schon um 12:45 Uhr starten wird. Um 12:45 Uhr geht es dann mit dem Senior-TT-Rennen los. Und hier sind natürlich wieder alle Augen auf die Erstplatzierten hier gerichtet, die nach dem Training hier ihre Startpositionen bekommen haben. Wir werden an erster Stelle Adrian Archibald sehen, gefolgt von Ian Locker, gefolgt von John McGuinness, Jason Griffiths, Bruce Anstey, Ryan Farquhar, Sean Harris, Richard Breton. Und natürlich wollen wir wissen, wo unsere Jungs sind. Unsere Jungs, Nummer 57, Toni Rechberger aus Österreich. Das ist die Startnummer 57 auf seiner 1000er Suzuki. Und Startnummer 59, Dirk Kalic auf seiner 998er Honda. Da werden wir also natürlich auch tüchtig darauf achten und tüchtig die Daumen drücken, dass das auch hier wieder ordentlich über die Bühne geht. Sofort im Anschluss an das Senior-TT-Rennen haben wir dann unsere Lap of Honor, die Classic Parade. Und hier halten wir natürlich Ausschau wahrscheinlich auf jede Maschine, denn all diese sind klassische Maschinen. Sie wollen aber möglicherweise besonders auf die folgenden Nummern schauen. Auf die Nummer 69. Ein Seitenwagengespann, gefahren von Helmut Lünemann. Das ist eine BMW Rennsport 500er Maschine aus dem Jahre 1968. Nummer 107, eine Solomaschine, gefahren von Heinz Herz, eine NSU 250er Rennmax-Maschine aus dem Jahre 1954. Das ist schon ein stattliches Alter. Noch ein bisschen älter ist dann die Nummer 131, eine Triumph 500 T100C, gefahren von Eberhard Sackel aus dem Jahre 1952. Und wenn Sie gerade glaubten, es kann kaum noch älter werden, dann gibt es die Nummer 136, ein weiteres Seitenwagengespann, gefahren von Chris Barmers, die BMW SS 500 aus dem Jahre 1939. Halten Sie aber natürlich auch Ausschau auf die Nummer 110, Wolfgang Schneider aus Bleckhausen. Er ist hier auf einer NSU Rennfox 125er Maschine aus dem Jahre 1954, die er selbst die hier einen TT-Gewinn im Jahre 1954 geschafft hat, eine Einzylindermaschine. Es war auch die erste Maschine mit Sechsganggetriebe, eine Ex-Rupert Hollows-Werksmaschine mit nun verändertem Rahmen und Vollverkleidung. Schauen Sie auch nochmal auf die Nummer 72, denn da fährt mit Derek Rumble Peter Vordermann. Das ist die Nummer 72. Derek Rumble hat diese Maschine liebevoll nachgebaut aus dem Jahre 1964 und hat damit auch eine Weltmeisterschaft und ein TT-Rennen gewonnen. Wie toll. Sollten Sie es noch älter haben wollen, dann gibt es zwei Maschinen aus dem Jahre 1933. Es ist kaum zu glauben. Das ist die Nummer 96, eine Roche 500 TT-Rep und die Nummer 103, eine Scott 600 TT-Rep. Viel Spaß dann. Zurück an Charlie.